love you.
Thank you all so much for joining me here today for another illustrious story time with Deadpool. How is everybody's day going?
Awesome!
Very nice, very nice. What was that? I couldn't hear you over the cheering for me. Thank you so much. I actually don't care, so don't repeat it. Everybody, today we're going to do a very popular story. It's one of my favorites. This story is a beloved bedtime favorite, mashed together with a very profitable licensing agreement. This story is Cinderpool.
Nice.
I like it. There's some energy here. That's nice. Disneyland, and I can't even get a real light. Once upon a time, you know, it just doesn't feel right when I do it by myself. We should all say those words together. On three. 1, 2, 3.
Once upon a time.
You were really late over here. It's all right. You tried. It's good. Once upon a time, Cinderpool lived in a big mansion with her step professor and step mutants. The biggest of those step mutants, Colossus, was always making up silly rules in the mansion like, don't put your initials on other people's leftovers in the fridge, and for the love of Feige, stop hanging your underwear from the ceiling fan. What is wrong with you? Don't you have any... The other step mutant, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, was always texting and rolling her eyes. She was so Gen Z. Both of these step mutants were very jealous of Cinderpool because Cinderpool had a much larger fan base. Yeah, that's right. Nobody came to Colossus's story time. One day, an expendable and non-union extra went running in front of the mansion grounds screaming King Thanos was going to have the biggest battle of Phase 3. Yeah, and we all know that was the last important phase. Cinderpool desperately wanted to go to the big battle, but Colossus said, no. It is too dangerous, and you are not a good part of the team. Then they ripped apart Cinderpool's favorite costume, and Negasonic blasted it with her mind powers. It was so cool, so Gen Z, so on fleek, no cap Sigma.
Yeah.
Cinderpool was devastated, was vulnerable, exposed, as he stumbled out onto the mansion grounds dramatically. But then he looked up and began to see the formation of a beautiful sparkle circle. And out of that sparkle circle stepped Cinderpool's fairy hairy god mutant, Wolverina. Right, and now I will give you my best impression. Shut up, bub. Oh, fairy god mutant Wolverina, I desperately want to go to the big battle, but my evil step mutants destroyed my costume. Shut up. Find a new costume and stop whining. So with that wonderful life advice, Cinderpool ran to the wardrobe department, got a new freshly laundered costume, and headed to the big battle. Honestly, he missed most of it because he stopped for chimichangas along the way at the local 7-Eleven. Yeah, but 7-Eleven doesn't carry chimichangas anymore, so he had to go to 3 other places. Anyway, when he showed up, the divisions were winning. Captain America looked so good in those pants. Cinderpool looked for his fairy god mutant Wolverina, but Disney hadn't bought the rights to him yet, so he wasn't there. And then he noticed, as the aliens were running away, right there on the stairs to their spaceship was a single glove. Cinderpool went over, picked that glove up, said hello to this camera. Hi. He was beautiful. Gold, encrusted with colorful jewels. There were 6 of them, not that that matters. Cinderpool said, wonder who this fits, and put it on. After some buzzing, whirring, and clicking, it was a perfect fit. At that point, Tony Stark looks over and starts yelling, "No! Take that thing off!" All the other Avengers are yelling too, but you can't hear him over Tony, who's just going, "I don't want to be in this universe anymore! If I have to come back again, I'll be doomed!" Doomed! Dude, if you don't get that joke, look it up later. You'll figure it out. And then all the other Avengers yelled at Cinderpool, "Do not snap!" That kid yelled it too. You know what Cinderpool did? Cinderpool snapped. Both physically and mentally, Cinderpool does that all the time. And then just started snapping over and over. People were disappearing, reappearing, dogs were falling out of the sky, there was a lot of crying. It was very expensive for the VFX department. But then eventually Cinderpool stopped. Everybody was back. And Cinderpool was the big hero. At that point, all the other Avengers tackle Cinderpool to the ground, rip the glove off of his hand, and then blah, blah, blah. They remake the movie years later. Tony Stark is the big sacrificial hero, and it goes on to become the most profitable film in the Feige universe, the FCU. But it's okay, because Cinderpool went on to start his own film franchise, which goes on to break box office records. And then they had to invite Cinderpool back to the Avengers Endgame 2, Electric Boogaloo. Yes! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end game. See what I did there? Was the whole thing. Now, thank you so much. You've all been wonderful. Thank you for joining me for another story time with Deadpool. I like most of you. Some of you not so much. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.